March 2020. The world was in chaos, panic buying led to toilet paper shortages, and safety guidelines were confusing for some people.
This isn't a urinal, is it?
I think it is, man.
In the 2019-2020 Champions League, PSG had just wrapped up a nearly flawless group stage. They'd beaten Galatasaray, Club Brugge, and Real Madrid, even thrashing Madrid 3-0 at the Parc de France. The only slip-up was a draw at the Bernabeu, but they still finished top of the group. The knockout stage kicked off with a trip to Germany to face Borussia Dortmund. In the 68th minute, a young Erling Haaland, back when he didn't have enough hair to land shampoo ads, tapped in the opener. By the 74th minute, PSG's pricey signings finally linked up to level the score, but the joy was short-lived.
Can't you go 5 seconds without humiliating yourself?
Just a minute later, the Norwegian striker struck again, bagging his brace and sealing the first leg win for Dortmund. The second leg would be the first Champions League match played behind closed doors due to certain virus that was going around. It didn't take long for PSG to level the tie. Neymar scored in the 27th minute. Just before halftime, a deflected effort from Bernat gave the Parisians their second goal of the night. Finally, after 4 years of heartbreak, 3 consecutive round of 16 exits in the most bizarre ways imaginable, and more money burned than Katy Perry's spaceflight, PSG were through to the quarterfinals. But what made this run even more unusual was the pandemic. From that point on, UEFA decided all remaining matches would be single-leg ties in Lisbon, played in August. That format gave PSG some comfort. There'd be no room for the kind of disasters they endured before, like when Barcelona overturned a 4-0 first leg to win the tie 6-5. Then came the quarterfinals against Atalanta. To add some drama, Mbappé started on the bench due to an ankle injury. Things couldn't have started worse. Atalanta scored in the 25th minute. Neymar kept trying but couldn't seem to find the net. Mbappé came on the 59th minute, hoping to turn the tide, but PSG had to suffer until the very last moments. In the 89th minute, Choupo-Moting whipped in a cross that Neymar couldn't quite finish, but Marquinhos pounced and slotted it in. 1-1. Then, just 2 minutes later, Mbappé sent in another ball and Choupo-Moting tapped it home, completing the comeback. Yeah, that's right, Choupo-Moting, a player who barely had the spotlight, sent PSG to their first Champions League semifinals in 25 years. The semifinal was against RB Leipzig, and while it looked like a mismatch on paper, well, it was. PSG cruised to a comfortable 3-0 win, with goals from Marquinhos, Di Maria and Bernat. The good news, PSG were in a Champions League final for the first time in their history. The bad news, the final would be against Bayern Munich, the same team that had just put 8 past Messi's Barcelona, were unbeaten, had won every match so far, and had scored over 40 goals in the tournament. Ready or not, August 23, 2020 arrived, the Champions League final. Once again, it was played behind closed doors. Oddly enough, during the match, I could hear crowd noises, fans cheering, shouting, and only much later did I realize they were pre-recorded sounds added to the broadcast. Honestly, I would have preferred to watch it in silence. It felt more authentic that way.
With no fans here, you can hear all the trash talking.
They played together on separate teams in England.
From the opening whistle, both teams came out with intensity, but as they had done all tournament, Bayern slowly took control of the game. In the 27th minute, Neymar had a golden chance, but Manuel Neuer pulled off a brilliant save. The ball looked like it might have gone out, but just to make it more cinematic, Neuer stopped the rebound too. Double save. Shortly after, Robert Lewandowski spun in the box and hit the post, sending a clear message. This wasn't going to be like the previous match. Angel Di Maria tried his luck from outside the box, but his shot ended up further off target than the Tottenham in the Premier League table. The match kept up its high intensity. Jerome Boateng had to come off injured, probably still suffering from that infamous Messi dribble. Meanwhile, Ander Herrera had a great look at goal, but his shot was blocked by Thiago Silva, who was playing so well, it looked like he was defending for both teams. Lewandowski tried again, this time with a powerful header, but Keylor Navas pulled off a stunning save to keep PSG alive. Di Maria made a run down the wing, but Alphonso Davies shut him down, making it clear that he and Kingsley Coman would be more annoying than Jimmy Fallon's fake laughs and applause. Coman, by the way, was Flick's surprise weapon for this final. Instead of starting Ivan Perisic, Flick went with Coman, who looked like the player most desperate to score, which is kind of poetic considering PSG was the club where he came through the youth ranks. Halftime arrived, and while Bayern had been slightly better, it didn't look like they were about to put 8 past PSG either. The second half kicked off, and in the 51st minute, Neymar took a knock and began his signature routine of dramatic rolling and tumbling. By now, Bayern's dominance was clear, and PSG were left hoping to hit back on the counter, trying to win the ball, push forward quickly, and see what Di Maria or Neymar could do. But that plan wasn't working. Bayern were just too well organized, recovering shape in seconds. Eventually, the German pressure paid off. In the 59th minute, Joshua Kimmich whipped in a perfect cross, and Kingsley Coman rose to note it into the net. The irony, the match winner came from a PSG Academy product. Coman wasn't done. Moments later, he sent in another ball for Lewandowski, which was cleared at the last second. Then again, he tried to treff with a tricky pass into the box. Thiago Silva had to clear it off the line. At minute 67, PSG finally got a breather. Flick subbed off Coman for Perisic. From that point on, PSG pushed more with heart than with precision, desperate to equalize. In the 69th minute, Di Maria crossed it in and Marquinhos nearly finished, but Neuer held firm. 3 minutes later, Mbappé went down in the box, but the ref let it play on, possibly confusing him with Neymar. In the dying minutes, Neymar, looking more lost than Onana at Manchester United, struggled to hold the ball, and in frustration, started committing fouls. In stoppage time, PSG had one last chance. A counter-attack, Mbappé slid a brilliant ball to Neymar, who tried to square it across, but Choupo-Moting couldn't get there to become the hero once again, like he did against Atalanta. Full-time, Bayern Munich were champions. It was their 6th Champions League title, and with it, they completed a historic treble. Not long after, they'd go on to win the German Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, and FIFA Club World Cup, making it a sextuple, a feat previously achieved only by Pep Guardiola's Barcelona in 2009. Meanwhile, PSG were left heartbroken, once again, falling short of European glory. Despite all the money poured into building a super team, the Champions League still eluded them, and the mockery on social media was relentless. The following season, Thomas Tuchel was sacked, only for him to go and win the Champions League with Chelsea just months later. As for PSG, they were knocked out in the semi-finals by Manchester City. It would only be a matter of time before they tried again, this time without Mbappé, but with Luis Enrique at the helm, shaping a new identity for the club.